you're doing out there? It's Simon and Alex again, and welcome to the Simon Show.
We're
All
here.
right, ladies and gentlemen out there again. Simon, up to you now. Let's do it.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match. I think as soon as the top players got subbed in, we could see the difference. As soon as Zaniolo and Abraham got subbed in, the difference was seen. Roma scored 2 goals immediately after they got subbed in, and happy days. I'm not gonna lie, I did quite enjoy the second half, much more than the first half. But I think it was the top players and the top talent, the quality Mourinho brought in, which was the big difference compared to the first half.
Absolutely agree. And again, you could tell, Mourinho kept the guys back in the during the first half break. I think he was livid because when he came out, he wasn't smiling at all. So I think he must have, pretty much whooped them a little bit, saying, "Hey guys, we should be up winning this thing." And like you rightfully said, the changes, Zaniolo, Abraham coming in, added more energy.
Yeah.
I really hoped to have seen like you. I think you call that whereby we'll get to see Diawara and Daboe,
Yeah.
but unfortunately it was a swap as well. But I don't like reading meanings into things, but maybe I'm calling it too early. I think there's an issue with Shomorodov and some of the guys because if you look at how Shomorodov was being fed the ball in the first half, which is maybe once or twice, compared to how they feed Abraham the ball.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
different.
yeah, I think the main difference being that I think Abraham is more experienced when it comes to these these international tournaments in a way.
Okay.
I think Shomurodov used to play in Genoa, and Genoa are a great historical club in this area, but in terms of international leagues,
Okay.
he hasn't got that experience that Abraham has. Abraham won the Champions League last season. So when it comes to these, right, I'm flying onto a new country, I'm playing the Europa Conference League, it is not the Champions League. And Mourinho said this as well, I would rather win the Champions League. But we're in a Europa Conference League, let's play well, I'm experienced, I'm gonna score. That's what probably Abraham was processing in his mind.
Okay, I see.
So
And you're right. You're right. But it was also good to see Mayoral who came in
yeah,
and
yeah.
and you could see he so wanted to score a goal. But if we were to go back to the sort of an overview on the match statistics, it was AS Roma with about 53 percentage of the
Yeah.
possession as against Zorya Luhansk's 47%. Also, AS Roma had about 18 shots 18 shots, and about 10 of those were on goal. And that of our Luhansk team had about 12 shots and only 2 on goal. So that gives you guys, sort of a sense of what the game was like. We had 2 yellow cards, 5 corner kicks, and if you missed out, El Shaarawy scored the first goal in the 7th minute, Chris Smalling in the 66th minute, and Tammy Abraham in the 68th minute after hitting the bar. So there you go.
So another thing I noticed is that
Yeah.
Roma was, stepped up into that pitch, to that stadium,
Yes.
with a
Yes.
mindset which was saying, I am not conceding today. Because the defensive section today, I know we were playing against Zorya Luhansk, but they looked way more concentrated in defense. In fact, it was one of the last seconds of the match. Rui Patricio performed that incredible save, and I
Yes.
can't remember who it was. I think it was Ibanez who he sort of like saved the ball from going in. It was that
Yes.
determination of it's such an important thing not conceding today, which I think can shine the light onto many, many, many matches in the future. So
Absolutely.
in a way, it could be said that the players were more interested in not conceding today than winning. They did both, but I think, in a way, I might be wrong here, but there's something in me saying that the Roma players would have been happier with a 0-0 draw than a 2-1 win, for example. Obviously, a 2-1 win is a win, and a 0-0 draw is a draw. But at the same, I feel like after that derby against Lazio, Mourinho made it so clear that the defense had to change because tough matches are coming, and if the defense is that shit like it was against Lazio, then so it was very, very important for me to not concede.
True, true. But then I will ask you this question though. So, and I know in my uh, prediction for the Empoli game, there were some things I said there, but regarding the defense. However, uh, who would you rather want to see on Sunday? Would you rather want to see Ibanez on the right? Uh, who did we have today again? We had Smalling, we had Kambula, and Calafiori. Would you want to see this set of four remarkable defenders who did not concede a goal today?
Yeah,
Would you want to see the four of them start on Sunday?
it's a big question. To be fair, I think, for example, Ibanez has something that Korsdorp doesn't have when he plays as a right back, and that's the defensive power. Because Korsdorp, does not defend. However, Korsdorp has something that Ibanez doesn't have, called crossing, sprinting down that line. So it depends. I think Mourinho and the team need to kind of, plan this match ahead, examine how Empoli play, because they can be a tough club. They beat Juventus at home. And, seeing how they play can then make you decide. But today, the defense was great. I mean, I would start Mancini, Smalling, and Ibanez again. Kambula wasn't bad today as well. Kambula was solid. Obviously, I wouldn't start Kambula in this area, but he was solid. So that's something else that another choice Mourinho could have in the defensive section if he grows more and more and more and becomes aggressive. So I didn't mind the defense today, to be fair.
Okay, but on the other hand, one thing that makes a defense very strong is trust. When you trust that your defenders play together, match in, match out over and over, you're building that trust, you're building that solidity. If we keep changing that,
that's a good point, mate.
what happens?
That's a good point.
But again, if you keep playing the same four pair, you're gonna have people moaning and whining and saying, "Hey, what about me?" So
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to see a risk from Mourinho saying, "Okay, you guys were able to keep a clean sheet in today's game. Let's see if you guys can do it in the next game." However, though, I would love to see Veritout paired with Daboe.
This is something I talked about in a live watch link today. It's something every single one of us wants to watch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I get the impression Mourinho cannot live without Cristante. I get the impression Mourinho likes Cristante. And this is why you'll see tomorrow, I predicted Veritout and Cristante to start again against Empoli. But, we talked about the defense. Let's move on and talk about the midfielder today. Because Darboe was top class. After today's performance, he hypothetically could have been compared to Kante. That's a big statement. But
that's a really big statement.
But if he grows,
I love his aggression. I love the aggression. And like you rightfully said, it's all about, again, coming back to trust. Mourinho trusts Cristante, and Cristante, remember, is captain number 3.
Yeah.
So it's Pellegrini, Mancini, Cristante. So I don't know. I try to think of what does Cristante add to the team, and I don't know. Really, he's solid. Don't get me wrong. He's solid, but is he as mobile as Daboe and Veritout?
Definitely not.
If we have Cristante on one hand and we have the Veritout on the other hand, who is faster as a midfielder?
Very true.
If Veritout is faster, then why don't we see him and Daboe?
Yeah.
Which create, that is like adding more spark plugs to the engine, and that fires up our midfield line as well. Pellegrini did not play that much today. And you could tell, you see, that's what happens when he stays on the
Yeah,
bench.
that's
He was rusty, and it's a good thing. Let him shake off that rust, and maybe with Empoli, he gets fired up. So that was good midfield.
something
Yeah.
important which I think at the start of the season we would have criticized is that obviously at the start of the season we were criticizing the international duties. I
Mm-hmm.
think the international duties which is coming up after Empoli is
Yes.
key, is very important. It's very important to
Mm.
reassess everything. So as much as it's boring to watch national teams, and as much as there won't be live watch-alongs, it
Mm-hmm.
is key for the team. It is key.
I agree.
And it's key for
I
Mourinho to
totally.
reassess the team. So
Mm.
I'm looking and not looking forward to that. Uh, yeah. Right. So we
Okay.
talked about the midfielder and the defenders. We've
Yes.
got the attacking section to talk about. Um,
Yeah. El Shaarawy, top notch, but there were some passes. I would say he was selfish. I think he wants to make a statement. Mourinho, I deserve to be on the starting 11 every time. And really, that is a wake up call to Mkhitaryan.
yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Because guess who we're not, of the three of them, one person that will not be benched, I can tell you, is Pellegrini.
And if
So
Zaniolo
therefore,
starts performing, Zaniolo as well.
and I saw some really high energy from Zaniolo as well in the second half. So that left hand side is up for grabs.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan, can you do what El Shaarawy does? That is up to him to answer. But I think El Shaarawy, like I predicted, would likely start again because we need to keep that going. We need to see that going. Mkhitaryan has to earn his stripes. He has to. Does he
Yeah.
do enough? I don't know.
The only problem I get with El Shaarawy is that he's great with these, small clubs, but look at the match against Lazio. He was invisible. I think what El Shaarawy needs to do is he needs to improve the how to react to big and top clubs, because
Okay.
I mean, as we said before, there are some tough matches that are coming, and that is where we need the best team out there. So if Mkhitaryan is not ready, okay, start El Shaarawy. But if El Shaarawy is invisible in these
Mm-hmm.
matches, that's
Mm-hmm.
a really, really big question mark that Mourinho should get, because both these two players don't perform. Then in January, I might buy another one. I might buy another one. Who knows?
You have a strong point. You have a strong point. And again, when there was a sub, when there was a sub whereby I believe it was El Shaarawy who was taken out for Mayoral. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I wondered, did Mayoral play on that left position, or did they change the formation to two strikers? I'm trying to think about that because now we then have to sort of compare Mkhitaryan, El Shaarawy, and Mayoral, who plays the best in the left hand side of the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, like you rightfully said, he needs to improve. He needs to improve a lot. Pellegrini was solid. That's the right word to use, but rusty. Uh, and Carlos Perez, energetic, full of life. But Zaniolo brought another
Yeah,
dimension to
exactly.
that
That's
energy.
exactly what I'm saying. What do you think of
Yes, as
Shomurodov? Do you think Shomurodov played well?
Shimarodov, my Uzbekistan dynamite.
I
Ah,
always
boy.
forget the name. There are always
Yeah,
about three people
yeah,
reminding me during
yeah.
every live watch along. I just can't stick that in
He's
my
the
head.
Uzbekistan dynamite. Really, he's explosive. But boy, and when I look at his facial expression, he was frustrated in the first half. Uh, and that is something I think Mario needs to preach to them. You guys can be selfish. You know, If the target man, who is the striker, isn't performing, what do? Then you can take those chances on yourself.
Yeah.
But you gotta feed the beast, feed the dynamite, and let him go kaboom. You guys didn't do that. You gave him only one chance. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, he would have scored, but he did not score. After all, Tammy Abraham didn't score on his first strike. The first strike did what? He hit the goalpost. The second strike, he scored. Even though I would think that's an offside, but well, that is they don't want VAR, so that's on them. However, we could do better. We could do a lot better in general in terms of feeding the ball to a Shomurodov. I keep calling him the El Shomurodov, but it's Shomurodov. But yeah, he didn't do well enough. He was frustrated. He wasn't happy. But guess what? He would not say Mourinho didn't make me start. They gave you a start, and this is what they all have to do in the whole squad. When you're given a chance, you act like that boy. You take that chance. When you're given a chance to play as a striker, whatever it is, if you're given 10 minutes, make the most out of 10 minutes. Or if it's 5 minutes, make an impact in 5 minutes. Because if you can impact the team in 5 minutes, guess what? You're going to impact the team in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, and maybe a full 90-minute game.
Yeah.
So that is the message to the guys. Be like that boy. So that is it. Yep.
Right. My last question before moving on to the quick player ratings is, compared to the Lazio game, do you think the defensive section was better today?
Absolutely. But again, are we really fair making that justification or comparison?
Yeah.
Because guess what? Zorya Luhansk is certainly not Lazio.
Yeah. That's the problem.
They're not at a level. Yeah, they're not at a level of Lazio either. Lazio is not at their level, or vice versa. And in other, they just drift off the point a little bit. Napoli lost today.
Napoli lost in a crazy match.
Yeah. So again, that message means no team can be underrated. We saw what happened to Real Madrid on Tuesday. Losing to Sheriff, Tripoli or Traspoli, whatever it is, the new sheriff in town. We cannot underestimate him. And I think Mourinho knows this because of how he was knocked out from the Europa last season by Dynamo Zagreb, who knocked, his Tottenham side out.
Yeah.
So we cannot compare the level, but we can compare the aggression. We can compare
the concentration.
The concentration. That is what I was looking for. There you go. We can do that definitely. To a little bit. But yeah.
Right.
That's what Empoli brings.
To conclude, let's have some quick player ratings. Rui Patricio, I'm going to give a solid 8 out of 10. He saved us not conceding in the last minutes. They didn't really have many attempts. Once again, Rui Patricio wasn't put on a great challenge, but he was there. He responded in a good way. 8 out of 10 for me.
I will give him a 9 because he's just so good.
Yeah.
He's really so good. And the only reason why I'm not giving him a 10 is because he got a yellow card. And I don't know if I heard right what the commentator said. It looks like Rui Patricio was going at one of the Roma players. I didn't catch that happening.
It's Kumbula. It was Kumbula. Yeah.
Oh, what happened exactly?
It's Kumbula wasn't positioned well in the wall that Rui Patricio made for a free kick.
Okay.
He moved before, and Rui Patricio got mad at that. But that is the determination. That's good.
Yes. So does the yellow card is only dense, but again, a solid 9, Rui Patricio.
Yeah.
For me.
So the defensive section for me, Ibanez in a new role. For me, that role was a success. I'm gonna give Ibanez another solid 8 out of 10. I'm going to give Smalling a 9 out of 10 because I think the experience he brings to the defense is key, and I'm sure you will disagree. He got the goal.
You're a Smalling fan, is it? Okay?
I am a Smalling fan. And then I'm going to give Kumbula a solid 7. A few errors, but not much. He's growing. He's becoming more aggressive, and happy days. And Calafiori, to be fair, I can't really remember what Calafiori actually did during this match, but... he
lost some chances, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an average 6 6/7 out of 10. Not bad. Another academy player who's growing more and more. He's showing his full potential. So yeah, 6/7 for me for Calafiori.
Okay. For me, it will be the entire defense team. They get an 8/10, except Smalling. Now, you'll be surprised that I named Smalling as a starter on Sunday because, yes, because he scored a goal, and I think there was a play whereby I actually saw him run, and I was impressed in the way he knocked balls off, that
Yeah,
came
yeah.
in crosses. So he gets a solid 9 for me. Everyone else gets an 8. And if I'm to be really fair, Ibanez in a new role performed well, but still a solid 8. Calafiori lost chances, but there was some compensation from the other guys. He lost duels, but fair enough. It was a clean sheet. We got to celebrate that a little. At
Yeah.
least we have to. So yeah, 8 all through, and again, Patricio a 9 and Smalling a 9. So yeah,
Cool. So, the two defensive midfielders, I'm going to give Cristante a 7 out of 10. It's a usual Cristante match, you know? It's his usual movement, stopping the
okay.
ball half an hour, spending half an hour grabbing a cup of coffee, flying to America to visit Starbucks, which is not present in Italy, unfortunately, and, then passing the ball. So, 7 out of 10 for Cristante. However, Darboy, on the other hand, in my opinion, I want to give him a 10, but I can't boost him up this much. He played one match, and I gotta see a continuous Darboy. I'm gonna give Darboy a good 9, however, which, in my opinion, at the age of Darboy is, let's check his age,
20.
20.
Yeah.
At the age of 20, playing in an international tournament, if you continue to play like this, Cristante can go bye-bye. So,
Don't write off Cristante just yet. You're about to see, a
and
golden eagle.
So yeah, I think Darboy has incredible potentials. I think he can play more and more and more with Jose, and I'm gonna give him a solid 9, as I said before.
Okay, so good. For me, that boy gets a remarkable 10 for me. And I'm going with a 10 because if he could put in all that energy in about 70 minutes or thereabout, I saw him play for, and he brought something new to the midfield that we have not seen in the entire Serie A game. I saw energy. Cristante, I'm going to give Cristante a 9 because it's Cristante.
Big statement.
I mean, come on. It's to be fair, that boy wouldn't have had the energy and the freedom to move around if not because Cristante was in a solid position.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's 9 and it's 10 together. Yeah.
Cool. So, attacking midfielders, Carles Perez, I want to see more of him. Every time he plays, he has good actions, but at the end of the day, he always wants to try to be Messi. He cannot be Messi. And he's not physically able to become Messi. And that's the problem for me of players who come from Barcelona Academy. They teach you to become the new Messi. Because now, for example, they are finding someone to replace Messi. So they're growing these Ansu, yeah, they're growing these players to play like Messi, but they don't have the capacities to play like Messi. So
because
Carles
they don't give
Perez-
them growth hormones. They don't give them growth hormones.
So
Yep, that is it.
Not Cristante. Carles Perez for me gets, a solid 7. He tried, but he needs to show more. Pellegrini, in my opinion, gets an average 6. Not great from Pellegrini, but it's understandable after a pause against Lazio. And El Shaarawy for me gets a 7 just because of the goal. Because apart from the goal and the few chances, I don't think El Shaarawy created much. So 7 El Shaarawy, 6, 7 Pellegrini, and 7 Carles Perez as well.
They all get a 7 for me, except El Shaarawy with a goal. I'll throw him at 8. I mean, it was a solid goal, so he gets an 8. Pellegrini had a Pellegrini day. No, he didn't have a Pellegrini day. He had a little bit underneath Pellegrini day because the Pellegrini day means Pellegrini gets to score. So yeah, as an 8 for El Shaarawy, it's gonna be a 7 for Pellegrini, and a 7. Or if you know what, I could also. The reason I would give Carlos Perez an 8 is because I saw him tracking back multiple times to help the defense. So he gets about a 7.5.
Yeah, and then Shomurodov for me gets. I'm gonna give Shomurodov a 7, but it's a 7 that it will be hard for Shomurodov to digest, but he needs to digest this 7, because I think this 7 is a 7 to push him forward, to be more confident, and to finally grab these needed goals that he can bring to this club. So I think Shomurodov, it wasn't his performance, but he still lacks the experience to play in for AS Roma. So he needs to still grow, improve with Jose. And I'm going to give him a 7. But it's not a painful 7. I'm not giving a 7 because I didn't like Shomurodov, because I think Shomurodov can do more.
I see. Okay. Fair enough. For me, and this is going to change the whole dynamics. Shomurodov gets a 5.
Okay.
And if Shomurodov is getting a 5, it means there are 3 people who are meant to support him. And that is going to be El Shaarawy, Pellegrini, Carlos Perez. Did they support him? No. So therefore, Shomurodov and the 3 supporters will all drop down to a 5. I'm changing that narrative now. Because guess what? There's no need of you having a striker if no one is gonna, if no one is passing to you. So what is the job of a striker? But on the other hand, and this sounds crazy, Shomurodov does not demand the ball.
Yeah, that's
Abraham
the point.
demands the ball.
That's the point. Yep, you're spot on there.
You gotta want it. You see Lukaku. You see Lewandowski and whatever it is, Mbappe. They demand the ball. They make noise.
Yeah.
That is the energy. You can tell me that is not his personality. He's more quiet. No. You gotta make your presence big and let the team feel your presence. If you're a quiet assassin, it's not going to work. So he gets a 5 for me. And because he's getting a 5 for me, then Carlos Perez gets a 5, Pellegrini gets a 5, and El Shaarawy gets a 5.5 because of that goal. Okay. So I'm grouping them together because they did not work properly. They didn't work together. And I wasn't happy with it. They have to learn to feed Shomurodov, and Shomurodov has to learn to want the ball. So they have to figure it out. That's Mourinho's problem.
Agree.
Yeah.
Right. Abraham and Zaniolo, for me, gave the impact to the match. I'm going to give them both a 7 for the minutes they played, because they did give the positive impact to the match. So happy days to them.
They get an 8 on my side. They get an 8 on my side. It was, because when they came in, you could tell the cooker or the gas cooker or stove or whatever people use out there, whatever it is, the heat was turned up. And when the heat gets turned up, what happens? The goals came. We shook them. And that was it.
Agree.
So, yeah.
Right. Alex, right, everyone up there. This was our match reaction. Me and Alex will catch you guys tomorrow for our predicted 11 for Empoli. Not a live stream, a video around the same time of these live streams. So stay tuned for that. Then on Saturday, it will be Mourinho's press conference analysis / reaction. And then on Sunday, it's the watch along against Empoli. Wish me luck. It's a survival trip tomorrow. So Alex, if you don't hear of me, you've got a good old Simon show to carry on your backs.
I better hear from you, and make sure you're safe out there. You with a mask out there.
Yeah.
COVID is real. I tell people COVID is real. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, do not forget to please hit that subscriber button.
I think we hit during the live watch along. We hit 1,400 subscribers. That's great. Keep the subscribers going. Keep the likes going. And me and Alex, we'll catch you tomorrow for our predicted 11.
Awesome. Have
We'll
a good
see you
one, guys.
there. See
Take it
you.
easy.
Up the Roma.
All right.
Good night, lads.
Good night.